Everything should be running. Greetings, guys. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, I'm a little late. I think I said somewhere around 7:30 I would start, but had to get cleaned up. Had to do something extra after my job was done. So, yeah, we're here. So today we are gonna do some of the story quests in Genshin, the character quests, I should say, and then depending on how many we get done, to learn more in depth about our new characters. I might do another RPG game. I just don't know what though. So here's the thing about Genshin. Genshin gets like a major update hmm, every 4 to 5 weeks. Genshin gets like a really big update for like big story, and then there's the overarching story for other characters that you can play to learn more about them. So I'm gonna be doing that, but I probably won't stream much of Genshin only because I need to wait until the next big patch comes out. So it comes out every 5 to 4 weeks. So I want to say somewhere towards, it's October now. I want to say either somewhere towards the end of the month or like the beginning of November is when like the next big story patch is going to hit. So that's when I'll probably stream again for like a long period of time to get through that story and then continue forward. So today will just be the character stories, and then like I said, if there's extra time, I may stream like a new RPG game to like start from, and then when Genshin has like its big patch, I'll come back to it. Um, Hold on a second. So other than that, I think that's it. Trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. No, I think that's it. So enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions or comments of anything regarding the game, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I can see chat. I can see the game without it covering anything. Okay, I think we're good to go. Right, so let me turn this up, and then let me unmute the audio. Turn the audio down a little bit. Okay, turn this down just a smidge. Okay. Alright. So pretty much, I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 characters that I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna do like my dailies and stuff. So with every like MMO game, there's always your weeklies and your dailies, and when you do them, you get rewards. So you always want to make sure you do them, especially if you're trying to like get a character that comes out in the future. That's the currency they use to let you get characters. I'm really hungry. I kind of ate before this and I'm still hungry. Okay. So yeah, these little primos right here, you use those to either get weapons for a character you really want, or you just use them to get a character. You have a chance to get them, and if you don't get them the first time they come around, the next time you get up to a certain amount of like pulls, you'll get the character you want. Some people don't like that element of the game, but I've already gotten the characters I want for now, so I don't really have to worry about that. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to quests and story quests. Alright, so we're gonna do Cyno, Tainari, and maybe Yelan if we have enough time. So let's start with Cyno since he's like a really cool character and I kind of want to learn more about him. Hey Paul, how's it going? Thank you for coming in, man. Alright, so yeah, in case you're late coming in, Paul, we're going to be doing some of the character stories today. The major story is done for now, and they come out in patches like MMOs. So like every few weeks is when we get our like new updated story patches. They lowered the amount by 1 week, so the content's actually coming out a lot faster. Okay. I'm doing all right, aside from the fact that I'm kind of hungry. I kind of ate before this, but my body still wants more food. So, yes, similar to Fate Grand Note, exactly. Very, very similar to that. So I'm trying to figure out what quest it is. Is it this one? I think it's this one.
No time to lose.
Alright, let's go ahead and go to the map and go back to Sumeru. Right? Yeah. Actually, I have a Pop-Tart right in front of me. I'm gonna go ahead and munch on this from time to time. Working out, note to self. Working out increases your appetite. Okay. I think this is the quest, right? Hold on, let me check. Yep, this is the one. Let me know if the audio
What
is
should I do now?
good.
If only Cyno was still around.
Excuse us. Has something happened?
Oh, I appreciate the concern, but who are you?
Okay, that might be too much. No, it should be fine.
Ah, friends of Cyno. Well, I suppose it's not a secret or anything. Since you two are interested, I'll just lay it out for you.
Oh, Laridia, so essentially, I don't know if you were, yeah, you were there. So, that big stream I did when I first played this game, that was the new story patch. And we played it through all in one sitting. And then after that, there are character story patches that come out to introduce you to the new characters and to learn more about them. I usually don't do those until way later, so I was like, you know what, I might as well just stream that, just to add to the content and just to show more people about the characters. So, I'm doing those. The major story plot is done for now. Unlike most MMOs or like story games, this game has about 5 to 10 years worth of story content and the content in general to be released over like the course of 5 weeks. But we got our most current one, I want to say last week. So in a couple more weeks we'll get the next big one, and of course more characters. So that probably won't be until either the end of this month or early November, I think. So in the meantime, I'll probably stream this game for showing characters and just doing like your dailies and your weeklies, or just play something else until the major patch comes out.
My name is Nabil. I'm a Matra in the Academia. A case involving the smuggling of canned knowledge has come to our attention recently, but unfortunately, we don't have the people to handle it at the moment.
Huh? You mean the Academia is short on Matra right now?
Well, not exactly. I suppose the main problem is that the case suddenly came up after General Mahamatra Cyno left to go somewhere. It would be a real headache for us to tackle the case ourselves. Given the large scope of the issue, we talked things over internally and decided that we should find further assistance from outside the Matra. If you two have some time, would you lend us your strength?
Alright, since you asked so nicely, we'll help.
Yes, large amounts of canned knowledge from unknown origins have been appearing on the market recently. We suspect there's a secret route being used to move the capsules. According to some research,
Thank you, Paul.
using large amounts of canned knowledge could lead to some serious consequences. And unfortunately, most people have yet to realize that. Rumors also have it that some particularly dangerous canned knowledge has made its way into the market. Regardless of whether the rumors are true or not, this case calls for urgent action.
It should be good now.
According to our
Sorry about that.
leads, it's highly likely that there are dealers selling canned knowledge outside the city, even as we speak. If you two could, please help us investigate the area.
You can count on us! Let's go!
Sands of Solitude. Okay. So I guess the good news is you could hear it, you just couldn't see it for like a couple minutes. Okay, that's good. I'm glad you caught that. Otherwise I would have streamed the whole thing without y'all seeing it. You would have heard it like an interactive book, but you wouldn't have seen it. Okay. Let's go over here.
Ah, it's you two. I knew I sensed a familiar presence. I'm currently in the middle of an investigation here. We'll have to chat some other time. There's been a recent case of canned knowledge smuggling. It seems that the smugglers are following an elaborate and dangerous scheme. I just happened to acquire some intel which led me here.
Hey, what do you know? We're also here to investigate that.
I see.
There we
Well,
go.
the situation might be more problematic than you anticipated. I've already questioned several people, but gained very little information.
I wonder why.
Long story short, I was able to learn of the secret location where the canned knowledge is being sold. You're welcome to accompany me if you're interested.
Whoa. That sounds pretty complicated. But having Cyno around will definitely make things easier. Alright, let's go round up those bad guys.
Oh, I think it's literally them right across from me. No? No, further across.
No time to lose.
These guys? Oh, it's these guys.
Is this what you got? Seems even less than last time.
What difference does it make? If you see something you like, buy it. If not, then keep walking.
They've been cracking down on us lately, so we don't have much on hand. If you see something that catches your eye, then now's your chance. There's no telling when we'll have more.
Not shady business.
What does the academia think they're doing? Alright, I'll take these here. Let me see what else you have. I don't see any real gems in this batch. It's all pretty ordinary stuff.
Canned knowledge.
Whatever. How much do I owe you?
150K. Show us the Mora, and you'll get the goods.
Put the Mora down and your hands up.
It's Cyno! When's he ever gonna let up?
Hey, forget the goods! Let's split!
But don't forget the Mora!
Dun dun! Not so fast! You can't get on the case!
What is this? He's got backup now? Doesn't everyone say Cyno works alone? Ugh, I don't like the looks of this. Either way, it's gonna be a tough fight. Any ideas?
It's over. It's not like we're making a big cut anyway. I'm not losing my life here.
Yeah.
Huh? Did they really just give up like that?
Just like the others I've caught. They're not deep in the circle, just dealers at the bottom of the chain. All right. I have one question and one question only. Where did you get this canned knowledge?
The pickup location is different every time. The boss tells us where it's gonna be and that's it. We don't get a say in it. He sends someone every 5 days to bring us the goods.
And when is the next batch coming?
I don't know.
He's telling the truth. Honest. Normally, we should have received a shipment 3 days ago, but we didn't get anything. The stock we have right now is from 8 days ago, which is why there isn't much left.
I know exactly why they didn't receive their last batch. 3 days ago is exactly when I started my investigation. I suspect who's ever running this whole thing knew that I was coming. So they cut all contact with these dealers. When you were trying to escape, you said something about me working alone. Where did you hear that from?
Are you kidding? We've known your name since day one in this business. The boss warned us to watch out and even gave us info about you. But here we are. I guess we never stood a chance.
They already knew all about me and were trying to avoid being detected from the very beginning. These small fries are the only ones they leave out in the open. And no matter how many we catch, it won't further our investigation. If only we had another lead. Like a merchant who sells large amounts of canned knowledge.
Huh? Oh, you mean someone like Dur...
Yeah.
Nothing?
Do you have a potential suspect?
Paimon.
You'd better bring them to me for judgment.
Woo! Judgment?
That's right. I won't turn a blind eye on any dangerous suspect.
Oh! Sounds like we shouldn't ever let Cyno meet Dory.
I see. Anyway, I'll think of a way to deal with these two and then continue gathering information. If you manage to learn anything, you can find me a caravan rebuild. And as for you, I don't ever want to catch you buying canned knowledge again. If you possess any unused knowledge capsules, then you should submit them to the authorities immediately.
Okay, I got it. Just keep your nose out of my business.
Hey! What's with the attitude, mister?
What, you got a problem with that too? Listen, buying canned knowledge is a deal between two people, the buyer and the seller. We don't need people like you butting in on our business here. Think about it. If the academia is hoarding something as convenient and useful like canned knowledge, then they must have been planning only to use it for themselves. Am I right?
The academia has clearly published the potential dangers of canned knowledge. I don't like having to repeat things. And besides, I'm sure you wouldn't listen anyway. I just hope you understand that your actions are what fuels the smuggling of canned knowledge. If I ever catch you again, I will personally see to it that you are punished. All right, Traveler. I need to go now.
Yikes.
Ha! You think you can scare me?
I'd let it go.
Traveler, why don't we go talk to Dory? She's got loads of connections and might be able to tell us something about all this. If Paimon remembers correctly, she's usually at the Palace of Alcazar's Array. Let's go!
That's quite a name. I'm surprised she said that pretty well. I think that's in the town of Sumeru City. Or no, it's further from it, my bad. I think this way points closer. Hey Don Juan, what's going on? Thank you for stopping in.
I see. So that's the latest scoop. Good thing you didn't rat me out. Otherwise, who knows where I'd have to be hiding to avoid attention. No idea. Sorry. I've already cashed out of the canned knowledge business. Huh? You mean you stopped selling it? That's right. With so much canned knowledge flooding the market, it was becoming impossible to fetch decent prices anymore.
Hey, Nick Castle, what's going on, man?
Besides,
How you
it
doing?
seems that group of smugglers has practically taken over the market. It's a little rule of mine to never fight for a share of someone else's market. If I'm gonna make Mora, it's gonna be the lion's share. Plus, with regulations getting as tight as they are now, I figured I might as well just hang it up. Sounds like we came all this way for nothing.
So just to clear up what I was talking about earlier, the major story patch, I think you were there for that. Essentially where they come out with like a big update to the game and they come out with like character updates. We went through that already and they come out over the course of 4 to 5 weeks. So we already cleared like the major story, but then after that there's actually character story. Each character in the game like has a story quest for you to learn more about them and something that pertains to maybe I think there's only been like a few characters whose story kind of pertains to what's going on in the actual overall story. I can't remember at the moment, but right now we're doing the character stories to learn more about them and to see if anything that they have in their story arc leads into what's going to be happening in the next couple weeks. Doing some side stuff. I'm doing well. Aside from me just being a little hungry, I literally just ate not that long ago before the stream started, and I'm still kind of hungry. So I'll probably will not stream as long. I think Tony is streaming tonight anyway, so my plan is to get through a few of the characters' stories to learn more about them. If there's extra time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play an RPG game to fill in the time as we wait for the next big Genshin update, so you can see what happens next. Because this game came out last year. It's been out for 2 years. September 28th was its 2-year anniversary, and over the course of 4 to 5 weeks, they're going to be releasing big story patches. So, yeah.
Well, not completely. Granted, I don't know who's behind all the smuggling activity, but since you didn't sell me out, I'll let you in on what I do know. After all, those smugglers have really crossed the line, butting their way into the market like that. I hope their luck runs out soon so that I can take over. I mean, so that the industry can become more fairly regulated. Hey, you just want to make more business for yourself. Don't underestimate its value. Think about it. You can gain all sorts of knowledge while bypassing the troublesome process of studying. Naturally, that makes it a product worth a high price. Of course, not everyone needs that kind of knowledge, but in a market as big as Sumeru, there is plenty of demand. Plus, the cost of production is relatively low, so even if dealers have to cover transportation costs, there's still an enormous profit to be made. Then why does the academia prohibit selling canned knowledge? Being able to gain complex knowledge and become a scholar with the snap of your fingers does sound like a dream, doesn't it? But everything in the world comes at a price, right?
She's not wrong there.
Gaining knowledge is a complicated process. It requires learning, thinking, and practice. Even when it comes to my own business, I have to go through a lot of preparation before I put anything out for sale. But with canned knowledge, one may simply skip all the hassle and get whatever they need to know immediately. That inherently leads to at least 2 potential problems. First, you'll accept the knowledge as factual without a second thought, and you'll find it very hard to forget. This means that if the knowledge is flawed, then it'll be very difficult to correct.
Get rich
And
schemes.
second, excess use of knowledge capsules over an extended time diminishes your ability to think. You'll end up becoming like a library that can only store knowledge. Oh, that does sound pretty dangerous. Traveler, you used canned knowledge before. Did you feel any negative effects? Of course, using it sparingly is not an issue, which is exactly why I used to sell it. It's just like how medicine can be used to cure diseases, but can also do harm when overused. It all comes down to balancing the right amount. Anyway, back to the point. There'll be consequences if the sale of canned knowledge by those smugglers is left unchecked. And what's worse, you're playing right into their hands by focusing only on the canned knowledge that's made its way into the market. As far as I know, their real purpose is to distribute information about the Court of Desolation. That's where the real business opportunity is. The Court of Desolation? What's that? Rumor has it that it's a site of ruins from the age of the Scarlet King. It's said that with the treasures inside, one can see beyond life and death. But any research of the ruins is strictly banned by the academia. Word on the street is that there'll be an auction taking place in the desert. They're auctioning rare canned knowledge, some of which is related to the Court of Desolation.
Okay.
Once I heard about the auction, I began to suspect that all the canned knowledge popping up on the market is just a diversion. I'd wager that their real target is the Court of Desolation.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because studying those ruins is not just a simple matter. It requires knowledge spanning several fields. So, if they're aiming to quickly assemble a research team, canned knowledge would be the best solution. As for the auction, chances are they're trying to attract and scout out anyone with interest or expertise on the subject. On the other hand, no one can say for sure that they will ever succeed in finding the Court of Desolation. So, they might as well just make a fortune while they're at it by hyping up the related canned knowledge at the auction. to Paimon like we better head to the desert and see the auction. Who knows, we might find some leads there.
That's right. And now that I've shared all that valuable info with you, it's time to introduce our limited edition desert travel kit. It comes complete with a map straight to the auction location.
Gotta buy it, of course. Yep.
As I said, I also have to make preparations before I sell things, right? Now, let me consider how much I should sell this for. I've got it! 500,000 mora per kit! That's quite the bargain. We'll even offer a 50% discount for little Paimon's travel kit. Only 250,000 mora.
What? That's super expensive!
No need to worry, little one. Cyno's the one heading this investigation, isn't he? I'll be sure to bill all the expenses to him. All you'll need to do is tell him to go to the Merchant's Guild and pay the bill once the mission is completed. Just, be sure to not send him directly here, though, okay? That would leave me completely in the open. I'm sure the former General Mahamatra of the Academia would never leave any debt unpaid. Oh, the Mora. I can see it already.
We better get going. If Dora keeps at it, we'll be out of Mora.
Alright, so we're going to the desert. Okay.
Cyno! We got news for you. What the smugglers are really after is a chance to research the Court of Desolation. They're hosting an auction in the desert to sell canned knowledge about those ruins.
The Court of Desolation. I won't ask how you came by this intel. But is it reliable?
We also heard that the Court of Desolation contains treasures from the time of the Scarlet King. Is that true?
Partially. It was a secret place built by a dark sect from the age of the Scarlet King. The ruins do contain treasures, but the place is also rife with unknown dangers. According to past research, one must forfeit their life as the price of entering. They are not some ordinary ruins, so the Academia has strictly prohibited any related research.
That's a yikes.
However, if they are using the canned knowledge as a way to move information and recruit researchers, then I suppose your conclusion does hold some validity. Regardless, we need to go into the desert. Less in recent years, but there are always those who attempt to do so, both inside and outside the Academia. After all, legends claim that whoever obtains the treasures inside can see beyond life and death, or even resurrect the dead. Death is often the greatest grievance for many people. Though they're fully aware that the chance of these rumors being true are slim, they hold tight to such fantasies and pursue them regardless. That's why some continue to research it, regardless of it being a restricted subject. On top of that, it's hard to track the source of information contained in canned knowledge. Do you know where the auction is taking place? Good. We'll go investigate. But before that, we'll have to get rid of these people tailing us.
That's crazy. How did he sense them? No, that's crazy.
People tailing us?
That's right. Let's begin to leave town and see what happens. I'm sure they'll reveal themselves as soon as we make a move. Don't worry. I'll make short work of them.
That's Cyno for ya. But we can lend a hand too, you know.
Luckily, I have him on my team now. I pulled for this character because I really like his design, so I have him now. So I need to put him to the test a little bit. How far do we have to go? Okay. Okay, right over here.
Hold it right there. Heading to the desert, are we? I would think twice if I were you.
Huh? Who are you?
It doesn't matter. All you need to know is that someone wishes to inform you that it's not too late to turn back. You must be Cyno. I've heard a lot about you. You've got quite a reputation. But this time you're in over your head. Unless you turn around right now, I'm afraid that even you won't return unscathed. And as for you two, why bother sticking your noses in trouble that doesn't even concern you? Hmm?
That's right. We won't just sit back and do nothing.
Ha! Have you really thought it through? You're not just doing this for recognition, are you, Cyno? My employer said that he's willing to compromise as long as you just walk away. He could, for example, reduce the amount of canned knowledge on the market. I'm sure that would help your investigation appear to be successful enough. On top of that, he's willing to give you a cut of the profit. So you see, you get both Mora and a boost to your reputation. I can't think of a reason why you would pass that up.
That's shady, though.
Is that so? Well, I can't think of a reason why I'd accept. I've heard enough. Get out of my way.
Sorry, no can do. We're getting paid to ensure you disappear. Since you won't turn back willingly, then we're gonna have to make you go back.
I don't think so. Alright.
Right now. Emerge. Right now.
Hold the line! Propagate! Surrender! Terminate!
Emerge. Right now.
Try it, Keeper!
Allow me.
Through me, justice is served.
Cool.
This doesn't change anything. You're in over your head, Cyno. There will be others coming for you. You'll regret it. Let's get out of here.
No.
No need.
Probably shouldn't.
Even if we apprehend them, there'll be little information to gain. Besides, it might also be a trap. I apologize for bringing you into this dangerous mess. Just being associated with me will inevitably cause you to become targets as well. You should be careful from now on. Sleep with one eye open.
Wait.
That's a little creepy,
No way
saying.
anyone could sleep without closing their eyes? Right?
You'd be surprised. Anyway, just be careful. Mercenaries are never quick to forget. In their line of work, even a single failure is bad for reputation. They may even stay hidden in some dark corner for a very long time. Waiting. For the... Yes.
Oops.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I was carrying out a mission with one of my superiors. I didn't have much experience at the time. And I let my guard down after we had closed the case. We ended up being attacked by the remainder of the mercenaries. My superior was injured while protecting me, and we struggled to gain control of the situation. I've become more vigilant ever since, staying alert even while I sleep.
Ooh. Who could have seen that coming? Was he okay?
He survived with a fractured wrist. It took 2 months for him to recover, but luckily, there weren't any further complications. Last year, he transferred to an administrative role for personal reasons. His name is Taj Radkani, a very well-respected Matra. You'll have the chance to meet him someday. Anyway, our mission will be dangerous. I'm already used to such grueling conditions, but I don't want to see you two get hurt.
Don't worry. Paimon will stay alert. We'll see danger coming a mile away.
Good. Don't worry. It won't be long till we're at the bottom of this. And once this is all over, I'll sweep away any other hidden dangers.
He has a firm duty to protect what he cares about. I think that's why I also like him a lot. Alright, back to the usual suspects. This is so cool.
So hot. If only there was some shape for us to cool off under.
We still have a long way to go, so you'll need to hang in there for a while longer. This is not a good place to rest anyway.
Okay. But don't you feel hot too, Cyno?
Of course, but I'm accustomed to these conditions.
Care to share any tips? Paimon's about to melt away.
Just try to stay focused. Use your willpower to support your mind. The moment you start to give in is when you'll feel more tired. Take one step after another. Don't let your mind perceive your body's limitations. We must get somewhere safe before we can relax.
Okay, if you say so. But where would be a more safe place to rest? Paimon thinks this is a perfectly safe place to stop. Just look around, it's just sand and desert. There aren't any monsters for miles around.
Scorpions?
Whoa, where did these scorpions come from?
Watch out. Something's not right about them.
Right here. Emerge.
Into the wind.
Cool.
Whew. Well, Paimon really didn't expect to see those here.
Those weren't just normal scorpions. See? There are marked numbers on their pincers. They were raised by someone.
Oh my.
Someone doesn't want us to show up at the auction. These scorpions were sent to keep us away. We are surrounded by desert as far as the eye can see. If we were killed out here, nobody would ever know.
This place is super dangerous. Good thing we didn't let our guard down.
Something's not right. There are no roads in the desert, so how could they know where we are? Stay still.
Oh. Is that like the form of a bug being planted on you? That's crazy. Or a tracker?
Here's the answer. They must have planted this on you.
Huh? What is it?
A miniature tracking device made by the Ksharwar. They can use this to discern your approximate location, but this device wasn't licensed for mass production. Where did they get it? Could someone from the Ksharwar also be involved? But that doesn't seem right.
Whoa! Paimon never knew that kind of thing even existed! Why would it be on him?
They probably planted it on the Traveler during our fight with the mercenaries earlier.
I didn't notice it.
It was a frantic fight. It's only natural you didn't notice the device.
Well, good thing you were able to find it, Cyno. Now let's get rid of it.
No. Hold on to it for now. It might still be useful for us. Let's keep heading to the auction. It would be dangerous to linger here any longer.
Okay. Oh.
They're back again! How many of them are there?
Right now. Emerge.
Here we go.
Weird. Is this where the auction is? Yeah, not a single soul. Maybe they're on break right now or something.
They didn't waste any time getting here after we defeated those mercenaries. They shouldn't have been able to give any warning of our arrival. But even so, they still knew we were coming. Someone here must have been watching the tracker and warned everyone to clear out.
Aw, what should we do now?
We searched the area. They couldn't have moved all the knowledge capsules so quickly. There might still be something left for us to find.
All right, let's take a good look around the area.
Ordinary canned knowledge seems to have nothing to do with the Court of Desolation. A large amount of canned knowledge has been piled here, enough to fetch an extremely large amount of more at market price. The scattered footprints have not been completely buried by the wind and sand, but it is impossible to speculate on the direction of the merchant's escape from the footprints. The sumpter beast is drinking water leisurely and seems to be completely unaffected.
Did you find anything?
No, nothing in particular.
It's possible there weren't many knowledge capsules containing info about the Court of Desolation, so they carried those off. But don't worry, I have another idea. You two start heading back the way we came. I will remain hidden here. Come back and meet me here after some time has passed. I'm sure something will come up by then.
Oh.
They packed up in a hurry and didn't have time to carry off all their goods. They won't just leave them here. Once they think we've left the premises, they'll be back to pick up their belongings. We just need to make sure the tracker goes far enough from here to make them assume that it's safe to come back.
Smart move.
Oh, Paimon gets it. We'll lure them out because they'll think we've left. Okay, we'll start heading away and leave this place to you.
Yes, and don't worry. If they dare to return, I'll make sure they stay.
Christ on a stick. Such violent tendencies. Okay, so let's go ahead and teleport. This one? Yeah, it's perfect. Also, is wind gliding a thing? Because I would love to do it one day, though I am terrified of heights.
So tired. We've probably gone far enough now, right? Further? But Paimon can't go another step. How about we rest here for a while? It's probably about time for us to head back to the auction. Let's go. Maybe Cyno's finally found some leads.
Hold on 1 second, y'all. Gotta... Something's making extra sounds. There we go. Gliding is a thing? Yeah, I would love to do it one day. I have a really big fear of heights. I feel like it would help with that if I can get past that. Ooh, I need these. Oh, the other one's too high. I can't get that one. I've heard it's fun. Okay. You don't know anything yet, Paimon?
I didn't act immediately when he showed up. Rather, I laid low and observed for a while instead. He is not the primary instigator, but he is most likely one of the more important dealers here. Am I right?
Yes, impressive. You certainly live up to your reputation, Cyno. If I had any idea you were still around, I wouldn't have gone so greedy.
Huh? Greedy? What do you mean by that?
Once everyone knew you were coming, all the canned knowledge dealers abandoned their goods and fled at once. Obviously, there wasn't time to pack up everything.
Called
Since
it.
all the goods were just left here unsupervised, I thought I'd use the opportunity to come back and take what I could. You know, free merchandise is good business, but I suppose there's no use explaining it now.
You must know who's manufacturing and selling the canned knowledge, correct? Will you tell us willingly? Or do I need to make you talk?
No, I'll talk. But before that, perhaps we can take the conversation elsewhere? If we stay here, chances are that someone will see me with you. That would put both me and my family in danger.
All right. Where do you suggest we go?
How about my home in Aru Village? It should be safe there.
Fine. Let's head out. You can throw away the tracker now, traveler.
Listen, buddy, you better not try to trick us.
Come on now. Do you really think I'd try to pull anything under Cyno's watch? Seriously, what can I even do?
Oh, like a rock wall. You know, I kind of remember doing something like that a couple times in my lifetime. That was actually kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually a workout too. I guess that's kind of like rock climbing, like fake rock climbing. Yeah, I think I've done that twice, Nick Castle. If it's the same thing I think you're talking about, yeah, I've done that at least 2 times. I did look down and I did freak out. But I think when I did the second time, I think it was like 2015, 2016 is when I did it. It was quite a while ago.
Dad, you're back. Oh, we have guests? Hi there.
This is my daughter, Cyno. She can be a little shy of strangers. Why don't you run along now, dear? Dad needs to talk with our guests.
Oh, okay.
Everyone knows Cyno in our business, but let me ask, who are you two?
Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler.
To be honest, I really didn't expect to see Cyno, the lone operator, working with any partners. When I saw the tracker start moving away, I assumed you had decided to just go back empty-handed. But even though you caught me, I'd still urge you to stop while you still can. You should abandon this investigation.
Why is that?
Everything from the manufacturing of canned knowledge to the sales and even splitting the profits. Every step of the process involves dozens, if not hundreds of people. Massive profits have brought everyone together in this business. Everyone will try their best to defend this industry that we've worked to build. It will be a long and difficult fight, even for you, Cyno. And even if you manage to win in the end, no one will thank you. If anything, you yourself might even feel remorse. Why are you so bent on putting us out of business?
Everyone has their own reasons for what they do. I don't have to explain mine.
Here's some tea, Dad. And for the guests, too.
Same time frame?
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot to offer tea to our guests. Thank you.
I need to do it again.
Don't mention it.
I did it with a few friends that I knew. I just
should tell
don't
you that
know
our tea tastes kind of bitter, but I put some sugar in to make it a little tastier.
Okay. I just don't know where there's a rock place around here to do it. I gotta find some place. Ever since I moved away, it's hard to find, like, gyms and other things.
That's my girl. Do we still have any sugar left? If not, I'll buy some more next time.
Yes, we do. Okay. I'm gonna go have a rest now.
Didn't you say that everyone's in it for the massive profits? That sure doesn't seem to be the case for you.
Actually, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I was hoping to ask you for a favor.
Yeah, like Nick Castle, where you live at, do you have like an abundance of things you can do? Like rock climbing, like going to a boxing gym, stuff like that? It's hard around here.
My daughter was born with a chronic disease, so she has a relatively weak heart and lungs. Even slightly strenuous exercise can cause her to faint and prove to be a life-threatening risk.
Yikes.
That's why she never really had any friends to play with, and why she locks herself up in her room most of the time. She has to take lots of medicine, and it doesn't come cheap. As for me, I was just an average merchant. I would wake up early and travel all around to make a profit. But the Mora was still nowhere near enough. I could only watch my daughter's health deteriorate day by day.
That's no good.
Till one day, someone reached out and showed me a way to really make a profit.
Selling canned knowledge.
That's right. With all the Mora I made, I could finally afford medical treatment for my daughter. Nothing made me happier than seeing her get better. There are many others like me. Smuggling canned knowledge might seem like an unforgivable crime to you, but to us, it's a means of survival. I wanted to tell you all this so that maybe you could understand and change your mind. Please, stay out of this, Cyno. Give us a way to survive.
This kind of complicates things. I can kind of relate to that on a real life spectrum. Sometimes you end up having to do jobs that you particularly don't like to make ends meet, but it puts you at risk for health and other things, which kind of sucks. I can feel him on that part.
Oh no. That means that if we prevent the sale of canned knowledge, his daughter will...
I must get to the truth. I can find someone to help treat your child, but I cannot turn a blind eye to the smuggling.
Still smuggling.
These are two completely different issues.
I somehow knew you would say that. But having your word to help my daughter is enough for me. Since you insist on continuing the investigation, you should have a look around the back of my home. You'll find some goods I received just recently. I think everything will become clear to you once you see them.
Whoa! Look at all of this!
Yes, all neatly packed away and organized in boxes. To think that this is only one dealer's worth.
That's a lot for one person.
Small producers couldn't possibly support such a large quantity of goods. Could the academia have a hand in this? But such a volume of goods wouldn't be able to slip through inspection.
Huh? Look! These seem different from the other knowledge capsules we've seen. Maybe they contain knowledge about the Court of Desolation.
Oh, you live in the big city, so yeah, you're probably going to have a lot of stuff. But you're also in one of those rare cases where you have rural surrounding it too, so that's actually kind of nice. Big city and rural? That's actually a good,
Yes,
that's pretty good.
That would make sense. Wait, what's this? Yes, it's a Matra seal, indicating that the goods have passed Matra inspection. I started to suspect that someone in the academia might be involved when I found the tracker earlier. But how they could ship so much canned knowledge out of the academia was still a mystery. The pieces have now all fallen into place. With this Matra seal, goods can leave the academia without undergoing a second inspection. No wonder they don't want me to investigate. It turns out, could I ask you for a favor, Traveler? Since all this canned knowledge came from the academia, then it's highly likely that the knowledge regarding the Court of Desolation originated from research files stored within the academia. If we can enter the repository, we can find out who accessed these files.
Okay.
But, considering my current status, If I suddenly show up at the Academia now, it will only draw unnecessary attention. You'll need to be the one who checks the records. I'll write a letter to Nabil, and he'll take you there.
Sure thing. Leave it to us.
I'll also keep working here in the meantime. Although our leads are all currently pointing to someone within the Academia, it's obvious that they also have power outside of it. We can get more information on other dealers from Bahari. I'll stay here and make some preparations. You can come find me anytime if you uncover more info.
Cool. All returns to silence. Okay. Let's say what state? Texas. Man, I feel like everyone that I know, like that I'm online friends with as of late, everybody's in Texas. Everyone's in Texas. Some people are in Boston. Some people are in New York. So it's Texas, Boston, New York, and then California. Those are like the top 4 that I hear most of my friends either live in or came from or still live in. That's crazy.
Hello, we meet again.
I'm in Virginia, by the way.
How's the investigation going? Oh, so you were able to find Cyno after all. I hope he's doing all right. I read the letter and must admit that I hadn't expected things to be so serious. Sorry. Had I known it would be so dangerous, I never would have gotten you two involved.
It's alright. We wanted to help Cyno too.
I can tell that he really trusts you. The research files stored away in the restricted repository are far from ordinary. Everything there is essentially about dangerous research that's forbidden by the Academia. Even I don't usually have authorization to enter. But with this letter from Cyno, it shouldn't be a problem. That's right. Granted, the Academia is very supportive when it comes to research. They encourage scholars to conduct all kinds of studies. However, some forms of research have proven to be so dangerous that the Matra have to step in and put a stop to them. Normally, after some particular research becomes prohibited, the majority of the related files will be destroyed. But some information may be retained as a record to warn later researchers. Such information is kept in the restricted repository, which is heavily guarded. Follow me, I'll show you. Hopefully, we'll find the answers that Cyno is looking for.
The restricted repository. Sounds kinda dangerous. We'd better keep an eye out.
Right. Yeah. Also, oh, I forgot about that. UK too. A good number of people I know also live in the UK. I would love to visit there one day. But I know right now, with everything that's happening, might not be the wisest thing to do. Hopefully they're, I have some friends that are kind of going through it in the UK. Hopefully they're doing okay. Not to get too politicky, but I do know the passing of ladies doing some pretty crazy things to their economy. So hopefully they're managing. Because it's hard to live these days, especially now. If you don't have a pretty good job or something really, really steady, unless you're like in a particular situation, it's really hard to live right now. I'm very thankful to recently just stumble upon a pretty nice job that lets me work from home from time to time. First job I've ever had that allows me to do that. Go higher? I see. Also, the music here is awesome. That's the one thing I will say. For people who don't play this game, the music is phenomenal. Speaking of Boston, I have a sister who's currently living in Boston. I've actually visited there past spring. It's nice. I was in Virginia once in Washington, D.C. Oh, nice. Yeah, Washington is it's a good place to go and sightsee. My only thing is D.C. has gotten expensive over the course of time. So unless you're making some pretty good chunk change, it's really hard to live there. Oh my god, I got lost again. Where do they want me to jump? We had a path. Hold on, let me go back to that room again. Because this city is so big. Some people say Boston is nice. Some parts of it are nice. Here we go. I was like, what? There he is.
Okay, I understand. Since Cyno is vouching for you, I suppose we can trust you. You may browse the information regarding the Court of Desolation. Ask me if you have any questions. But I'd suggest avoiding any other research files. Sometimes the less you know, the better.
He's not wrong. But pretty much if you live in Virginia, IT work and government jobs is like the best way for you to be stable,
So
in my opinion.
This is the restricted repository. I never thought I'd see the inside of it. This is a first for both you and me.
There are many who do not openly converse with others within the academia. But even so, there are very few who I feel could be trusted with a real secret. Cyno happens to be one of them. Even though he's no longer in the academia, I still trust him. And that goes for anyone he trusts as well. The files are over there. Just make it quick.
Records of an account of a... Ooh, here we go. Records of an account of a Spuntamod researcher who was expelled from the academia for studying mechanical life forms. Oh, lordy. We got ourselves a file. Alright. Despite repeated prohibitions, research on the Court of Desolation in the past decade has increased without ceasing. Researchers who study the history of the Court of Desolation mainly go through 3 stages: discovery, investigation, and fanaticism. The earliest stage of research is the relatively basic discovery phase, which causes little to no harm. The results of their discoveries will show that treasures related to life and death may be hidden within the Court of Desolation. This is also where the rumor of bringing the dead back to life may begin. Following the initial phase is the prolonged investigation phase. All documentation regarding the location of the Court of Desolation has been vague at best. As a result, the structure itself has been truly discovered, or never been truly discovered. Many researchers deplete their resources searching in the desert, only to find a scant few remaining stone tablets with the words, "Entering the Court of Desolation comes at a price of one's life." 2 different interpretations of the line have quickly emerged as a result. Some believe that the price of one's life is the key to entering the Court of Desolation, while others asserted that it was a requirement for the court to appear. Because the Court of Desolation has never been discovered, the latter view gradually became mainstream. As a result, many researchers went in a short period of time. Overtaken by their fervent desire to make the Court of Desolation appear, they attempted to sacrifice their lives. Relevant research became increasingly dangerous and was eventually banned. But even after that, many academia scholars secretly continued their research. It was not until 7 scholars, including Murtada Rakani, were arrested at the research at the Court of Desolation, entered a period of stagnation once again.
Whoa, there's a lot to read here. Have you found anything yet?
Oh my. Most certainly, Nick. Yeah, certain parts of Northern Virginia, I feel like, is probably just the government and IT part. But yes, Southern Virginia is very big on farming. If you want to go somewhere like that, I would definitely go to Southern Virginia. I've never really been to the southern part of Virginia. I've mostly lived in Northern Virginia for the majority of my lifetime.
Huh. It reminds Paimon of Cyno's former partner.
I've thought about moving to a further part in Virginia, but Virginia itself is getting a little bit expensive. I just don't know where to move. I thought about like New York, but New York is just as expensive. There's also like Michigan, but I don't think there's anything. I would need to ask JJ and the others about Michigan. I know there's some things, but there's not a lot of things to do.
His former partner. That would be Taj Radkani.
And then Texas was a big one too.
Murtada Radkani was Taj's only son.
Practically everyone that I know has mostly told me to go to Texas. I do have a good number of online friends that live there.
What? Taj's son went to prison for researching the Court of Desolation?
Why do you sound so surprised? You're a Matra, aren't you?
It's just that they arrested him in secret, so it was never publicly known. All I knew was that Taj's son was taken to prison. It's not just me. I bet even Cyno didn't know about it.
No. Unfortunately, there isn't. He took his own life not long after he went to prison. You've heard about Taj, right? I know Nabil has. Every Matra knows him. I would say he's probably pushing 50 this year. Which
Hold on
makes
one
him
second,
one
y'all.
of the
I gotta
most
adjust something.
experienced Matra. He is a man of integrity and honesty, and has made countless achievements. His reputation goes back a long way now. He used to be Cyno's only partner. Taj is also skilled with the polearm, so the two of them used to practice together when they weren't out on a mission.
Ah, right. I heard Cyno mention that before. But one day, Taj suddenly decided to retire from active duty and transfer to an administrative position. I wonder if it had anything to do with the Murtada incident.
Taj was already very well known by the time Murtada was born. So when Murtada came to study at the Academia, everyone had high expectations of him. He had to face a lot of pressure. Then he had an unpleasant dispute with his father, but they were eventually able to work things out. Not long after they had reconciled, Murtada was caught studying the Court of Desolation, which is in violation of Academia rules. Taj arrested his son
All good.
and put him behind bars. He begged
The
for
mic
leniency,
is having some
but
trouble.
Taj wouldn't agree. Shortly after, Murtada slit his own throat with the pieces of a broken bowl. By the time Taj arrived at the scene, it was already too late. He never had a last chance to see his son.
Oh my.
Since then, Taj has been periodically coming to the repository. He'll hold the files from his son's research with a remorseful look on his face. I guess that's why he chose to move to administrative work.
I had no idea that happened.
That's crazy.
That must be really hard for Taj. I've never heard him mention that to anyone.
That's awful. Paimon feels terrible now. Are you okay, Traveler?
Wait, don't tell me you're starting to suspect Taj now. Impossible. Taj would never do that. I mean, yes, he does have a big reputation and has access to such research, but this is Taj we're talking about. He would never do anything against regulations. Never.
But if you claim that the canned knowledge was originating from the Academia, then Taj is indeed a suspect. Because he was the only one who could have recently gone through research files about the Court of Desolation. There are so many files about those ruins that it would be difficult to restart any research, since the 7 original researchers were put behind bars. It's hard enough just trying to make sense of these files. However, if the files were made into canned knowledge, they could be understood immediately. By doing so, one could restart the research outside the academia without anyone ever noticing.
But even so,
According to the legends, the treasures inside the Court of Desolation could allow someone to see beyond life and death. Or even bring the dead back to life, right? So maybe Taj is trying to bring Mortada back. Though I don't really believe Taj would ever try to do something like that. I'm just telling you what I know. It's the job of the Matra to find the truth and track down criminals. Do you have any questions? If not, it'd be best if you would leave now.
Paimon's kinda confused. What should we do from here?
oh, now that I think about it, Cyno suspected that the canned knowledge was coming from within the academia, right? There's no way so many boxes could ever get through without drawing any attention. Maybe we could try asking people around the gate of the academia and see what we can find. Don't worry, Tosh. I won't let your reputation be tarnished.
Alrighty then, let's go ask around.
Okay. You're thinking of moving to Ireland? That'd be pretty cool. That's also one of the few places I wanted to go. Ireland, the UK, Germany, and Japan for certain. Because Japan has some pretty cool places, considering they have like video game themed restaurants and cafes. I've always wanted to go to those, especially since the RE one is in Japan. I think it's the Biohazard Cafe. I think I saw like a picture of like a liquor brain. I was wondering what food was that made from. It looked so gross. I didn't believe that it was an actual cafe that was selling it. So I kind of wondered what it is.
Excuse me, have you seen any large shipments of goods leaving the academia recently?
No, not that I'm aware of. Perhaps you could ask someone else?
I feel like he's lying. That's just me.
Excuse me, have you seen any large shipments of goods leaving the academia recently?
Huh. Well, yes, but isn't that pretty normal? The academia consumes so many resources each day. Everything from cooking ingredients, raw materials, even equipment for experiments. It's normal for goods to be coming in and out.
Right, but we're looking for shipments with a Matra seal. Have you seen any like that?
That I'm not too sure of. I normally wouldn't notice whether the goods have any seals or not. Maybe you should ask someone else.
Excuse me, have you seen any large shipments of goods leaving the academia recently?
Huh? Why do you ask?
I'm just checking to ensure nothing unusual has happened.
Well, I can't say it's unusual, but I did notice something. There's a Kashar researcher who's been making frequent shipments recently. Dozen of large boxes each time, if not more. When I asked him about it, he said they just contained a bunch of old worn-out machines. The Kashar used to often sell scrap machines to traveling merchants, so I didn't really think anything of it. But he's been making a lot of shipments lately. There weren't ever so many outdated machines before.
And you didn't find that suspicious? Why didn't you report it for inspection?
Well, the boxes were stamped with a Matra seal. Why should I bother? Of course, I did start to wonder about the seal once, thinking that maybe they forged it or something. But you know what happened? A man named Taj came here and told me that he'd already inspected the goods personally and ordered me to leave the researcher alone. I couldn't question his word, could I?
Yeah.
Impossible. There must be some sort of mistake. There's no way Taj would ever... No, I won't believe it. Taj is an honorable man. Someone must be trying to frame him. Wait, I know another Matra who works with Taj. I can ask him to let us speak with Taj.
As I've already told you, I don't have any way to contact Taj.
few Eremites showed up looking for Taj yesterday, and he met with them in his office. I was standing outside of the door, and I vaguely heard them say, "Found it." Before I realized it, the door opened, and Taj left with the group of them. I noticed that he had also changed into Eremite attire.
Oh no.
But Taj didn't come to work today, so I've also started to feel a little concerned about the whole thing. If you'd like to speak with him, maybe you can try visiting his home. He lives just on the outskirts of
Taj is
Samara
up to
City.
no good, y'all.
A group of Eremites? Could Taj really be the one making all the canned knowledge?
I don't know.
No way. Taj is just like Cyno. They're considered heroes among the Matra. There's no way that he would... Fine. Looks like there's no other choice.
Hey, don't let it get to you just yet. We'll get to the bottom of this once and for all.
Where's his home? Really odd question for y'all, for those that are in here, but if there's like one, if there's one particular place that you could live for like 2 weeks, where would you go?
This is Taj's place. There doesn't seem to be anyone here.
Well, what should we do then? Do we break in?
No. Wait, the door's unlocked. Did Taj leave in a hurry?
What?
Well, anyway, we're still not sure if he's the real culprit. Probably not a good idea to go in without permission. You're right. Even if we apply for a warrant now, we won't be able to do anything until tomorrow at the earliest. This is an emergency. I just hope Taj doesn't mind. What's this?
It's a paper full of names written on it. Oh, and a map. Nabil, can you make any sense of this?
Yes. This is definitely Taj's handwriting. These are the transactions between Taj and some other people. From the look of the numbers, the scale of this smuggling case is absolutely massive. The whole operation involves more than 300 people, including dozens of celebrities. These are famous scholars, merchants, mercenaries. I have a feeling that Cyno might be unaware of what he's up against. There's no way anyone could face such a large organization on their own. You're right, that's just who he is. As for the map, it appears to indicate the location of the Court of Desolation. Let's take it to Cyno and let him decide how to proceed.
Okay, I think I know where that is on the map.
If Taj really has turned on his honor and committed these terrible acts, then I suspect that he might already be at the Court of Desolation as we speak. I don't want to suspect him, but I also don't know him very well. Maybe Cyno will know what to do.
All right, we'll give these to Cyno and see. Let's...
Okay. Alright, so based off that map location... Oh, we have to go to Cyno first. Hold up. So let me check something with the sand. It's pretty cool. Denmark is pretty cool, Paul. And then Japan, heck yeah. For 2, yeah, totally. I've played so many games, so many cool games have come made from there. I'm like, it would definitely be worth doing that for sure. Madagascar Islands for me.
Well, Cyno, what do you make of it?
If I could live there.
Taj. It's been a while since I last saw him. From what I remember, he is a straight-laced man. Although he would resort to extreme measures from time to time, he would never do anything against his beliefs.
So do you think he's the one behind all this?
I'm still not sure. I cannot imagine how devastating the incident with Mortada was for him. Nor can I deny the possibility that people can change. Whether it's out of love for his son or for other reasons. We have to see for ourselves to judge him. Or rather, the person he's become. That's right. It's clear that he had a hand in this case, yet he made no report of it. There's no doubting that. That's also why I need to see him. I must ask his reasoning and judge him myself. Time is ticking. Let's go.
Let's go to this one. Alright, let's see if Todd is being put under the sword or if he's actually doing it himself. I hope it's the latter, or hope it's the first one. Also, this desert is very awesome. I actually never glided from this high before. The game's scenery is pretty dope, I will give it that. Just take that all in. Egypt would be a cool place to go to. I'm a big fan of Egyptian lore. As well as the mythology. Okay, so it's somewhere around here. Here we are. All right, let's do it with this team.
So this is the Court of Desolation. Are there really any treasures buried here? Oh, Paimon's kinda nervous. Could it be dangerous?
Don't worry. You'll be safe with me.
Look! These walls have definitely seen better days. Was there some sort of fight here? Let's keep going and see what we can find.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Whoa! Is it just Paimon? Or did that passageway just rotate? It's not gonna start moving again, is it? Either way, we should be careful. Right now.
Propagate! Nowhere to run!
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
A passage! Hopefully that's our way in.
Oh, I forgot that chest. Whoops.
That eye seems to be staring right at us. This place gives Paimon the creeps. You go first.
I do like this. The aesthetic is awesome. What's this? That's pretty sick.
Hold the line. Let's move out. Emerge. Right now. Right here.
Surrender! Nowhere to run!
Funny, I have a team with a Traveler and Cyno on it.
Taj.
Ah, Cyno. It's been some time since I've seen you last. I trust you are doing well. Seeing that you've made it all the way here, you must be on the cusp of wrapping up your investigation, I presume. Even faster than I expected. Is it because you have some new partners now?
That's right. This case is nearly closed. But the most important answer still eludes me. Was it all your doing? Smuggling the canned knowledge? The research of the Court of Desolation?
Yes, it was me.
No.
Then explain why.
That's the difficult part. Let's just say I've changed. I've become a selfish coward who only wants to pursue his own interests.
I find that hard to believe.
Oh, really? Way I see it, every person will end up like me sooner or later. When you're young, you press forward, unattached, living solely for the justice in your heart. But as you begin to age, you start to become more cautious. You know many things are wrong, but still turn a blind eye to them. I was the same. I never questioned my actions until Murtada died. I could feel the justice that I once strived to uphold slowly crumbling in my heart. I was completely dedicated to all that I did, but as I grew older, I found myself feeling alone, miserable. Can you imagine what it feels like to not have the will to live, but not be able to die? Murtada was sent to prison by my own hands. I set myself on this painful path. My son hated me till the day he died, and now I must live with that pain and regret. I failed him as a father. But now I have a chance to make it right. A chance to reunite with him.
So he really is trying to revive him. Unfortunately, that never works. And if it does, it has terrible repercussions if you do it.
The Court of Desolation. Here lies the key to overcoming life and death. The power to even bring the dead back to life.
So, did you already find what you needed here?
See this door behind me? Behind it lies the treasures that I seek. I'm so close, Cyno.
If only you hadn't arrived now, I could already have...
Enough conjecture. What has happened is already part of the past. You cannot bring the dead back to life. In the end, the treasures you seek are nothing but myths and legend.
Since you're so sure, why don't you just let me open the door and see them?
No. I sense danger behind that door. There will be dire consequences the moment you open it.
I beg you, as an old partner, can you let me fulfill my last wish just this once? Surely you get it by now. Doing your job without mercy will only drive people away from you. I'm the prime example.
Eternal Zombie, what's going on? Thank you for coming in.
I don't overthink things. If there is only one way for me to defend my principles, then that is the path I will take.
Seems there's no convincing you. All right then. Let's see if your polearm skills have improved at all.
I guess we have no choice but to fight him.
This power is mine.
Whoa.
I will set things right no matter.
Right now.
He can summon the monsters?
Scatter! As I thought.
Your strength.
You feel it, don't you? I'm stronger than you remember. I gained new power when I entered the Court of Desolation.
Eternal. I would say this game is pretty good. I play it for the characters and I play it for the story. Now, it's one of those types of games where the story is being expanded upon over the course of 5 years, so we get it. We get a story patch like every 5 weeks to expand on what's going on, as well as character stories. If you're a big fan of RPGs, you have patience. It's got gacha elements, if you're familiar with gacha games. It's like an MMO meets gacha, but it's more of an RPG than a gacha, but of course the gacha element is there for you to get characters if you want. Shinobi, what's up? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. The game is free to play, and as you know, with any free to play game, there's always some monetary value involved. So my suggestion to you is this. This game has what's called banners, and there's characters that come out on every single banner. What I do is I assess what they look like, I see what their gameplay is, and I just, if I like you enough, I'll pull for the character. But if I don't like the character enough, then I'll just not. The thing is, people say this game is gambling, and it has gambling in it, technically speaking, but you can control that, in my opinion. But to each their own with that conversation. No problem. I greatly appreciate the lurk. I'm glad you even stopped by. I know everyone's busy tonight, so anyone that comes by is greatly appreciated. The fact that there have been a solid 4 to 5 viewers here have been great. If someone rated and I didn't see it, I totally apologize. I do have a notification if I ever get rated, but if it didn't go off and someone did, my bad, I'm sorry. But yes, this game is fun to me. I like it. Have I spent a lot of money on this game? Not as much as some other people have. Believe it or not, I'm going to give you guys a fun fact about this game, Genshin Impact. This game, if I'm not mistaken, within half of a year, made over $3 billion in sales from the things they offer in the game. That's pretty wild, if you ask me. And they're making even more money. Like, I can show you the statistics later, but the amount of money this game has made in 2 years is absolutely insane. Like, you wouldn't believe me until I actually showed you the actual numbers for this game. It's currently, I think, number 3 or number 4 in the highest grossing selling game of all time. It's pretty crazy.
This is only a taste of it. Once I open the door behind me, this power will be complete. Even life and death will have no grip on me.
Uh-oh. We have to stop this guy!
I won't let you open that door.
I wouldn't be so sure. I'm afraid it won't be easy to stop me now that you're injured. Or are you ready to sacrifice your life for this?
I'll do what I have to.
I still remember when we first became partners. You were always charging forward and putting your life on the line. Just like now. Even after all this time, you still haven't changed.
You haven't changed either. You left that list of names and map in your house on purpose, didn't you? You wanted me to be able to find you here. All of this was just part of the act you were putting on. What happened just now was also part of your plan. You might have fooled those on the list, but you will not fool me. I had my suspicions from the beginning, but I couldn't be sure until we fought. If he really had changed, your fighting style wouldn't be as it was before.
Huh? What do you mean, Cyno?
He never planned on opening the door. His true intention was...
What's happening?
Seems our time is running short. Let me make this quick then. After Mortada died, my spirit was crushed. For a long time, I was hoping this reality was just some terrible nightmare. I hoped I would just wake up and be able to see his smiling face again. That is when I was approached by someone who wished to collaborate and find the Court of Desolation together. I did some investigation of my own and discovered they were part of a massive organization.
Eternal Zombie, yes I am. If you can't see the Resident Evil shirt behind me, I am a big fan. I wish I had more like things to show you in the background. But every Tuesday, I always play like either Resident Evil or something horror. And then Thursdays, I usually play an RPG. If I don't have an RPG or some type of like other game to play of that genre, then I'll play other horror games. Since technically this month is October, I might play another horror game next week. This game gets updated like every 4 to 5 weeks with like a major story patch, and I save that for Thursdays. But since it's October, I might just stream like a horror game on both days until the story comes out. So we'll see how that goes. But yes, I'm a big horror fan. I played Silent Hill. I played Resident Evil. The only games I haven't actually played that are in the horror genre are like Dead Space, believe it or not. I've watched some friends play it. I have not played it myself. I haven't played Silent Hill Homecoming, and I'm trying to think of some other games. Outlast Trials I haven't played yet, which I plan to do at some point.
People from every walk of life are involved. They are relentless in their search, pouring countless more into secret research, even sacrificing lives in hopes that the Court of Desolation would appear.
No wonder banning the research wasn't enough. A full-scale operation was already in motion.
I'm a flesh and blood human like anyone else, so I obviously hesitated and considered it. The thought of bringing my son back tugged at my heart, but in the end, I came to my senses. I knew that I could not let myself go down that path.
Eternal Zombie, yes. What's your favorite of the RE games? For me, my personal favorites are RE2 OG, Code Veronica, RE3 OG, and RE5. I like them all. I don't really truly dislike... I think the only ones I truly dislike are Umbrella Corps, and I think that's it. I think Umbrella Corps is the only one that I just didn't like. The other games I actually played, I liked 0, I liked 1, the remake, I liked Director's Cut, I liked 2's remake, I liked 3's remake. It had some things I didn't particularly enjoy because a lot of content was cut out, but I enjoyed some parts of it. RA4 I liked. It's been a while since I played it. I might play that on Tuesday. this upcoming Tuesday, since it's been such a long time since I've actually played it. RE5 I really enjoy. RE6, despite all the hate it gets, I actually kind of like that game. I do agree with some people that in terms of like the controls, RE6 was, in my humble opinion, it's a hot take. RE6 I think had some of the best controls for RE in terms of like freedom and being able to move. In terms of how it was done, some parts of it felt a little clunky because Capcom was like, okay, we're going to try something new. A lot of people would agree that it felt like it was on like the Gears of War side, Call of Duty gameplay, in terms of how it felt. But for a Resident Evil game, to be able to run, be able to move and like, get away from certain situations, it felt pretty good. I think the only thing was just the stamina gauge. It kind of made you just slow if you ran out of stamina. But realistically, if you're making all those actions, you're going to run out of stamina at some point. So in that sense, it makes sense. RE Village, I loved. RE7, I also really liked. I know a lot of people didn't really like the first-person view thing, but a lot of people don't realize that RE has done first-person view, like way back when. For instance, if you played Survivor, if you played the Gun Survivor, and Dead Aim, those are like the first major games that did it, I believe. And then I think Code Veronica, if you beat the game and you play like the Merc mode, I think it's called Battle Mode, even that game has a first-person view mode too. But a lot of people didn't really play that.
I suddenly came to a realization amidst my suffering. The Court of Desolation. A place that once drove people to tragedy was still doing so, even centuries later.
ROG is awesome. I do agree. It's one of the coolest games.
As long as this place exists, people will recklessly seek it out, just as Mortada did. Generation after generation, regardless of the cost. Let it be buried beneath the sand forever. Once the Court of Desolation is gone, there will no longer be anyone
Wait a
obsessed
second.
with seeking it out.
So he's gonna take himself out with this place.
That's right. I acted as if I had abandoned my convictions just so that they would cooperate without raising any suspicion. This was the only way I could find and destroy this place. But that wasn't enough. I needed someone I could trust to bring the organization to justice. The Academia forbids the research of the Court of Desolation, so they would never approve my plan in the first place.
Eternal Zombie 100%. Dino Crisis 1 was hard as hell, but I loved the crap out of that game. 1 and 2, top favorites. 3, we don't talk about 3.
To add to the problem, the organization is so powerful that they even have members working within the Academia. If I wished to destroy the organization, I couldn't just count on the Academia alone.
So, you pretended to be the one behind all this as a test for me.
Yes. I'm sorry, but now I am assured. You haven't changed at all. You are still as you always were, fearless, and making no compromise. Anyway, this place is collapsing. You must leave now.
Wait! Aren't you leaving too? There are still loads of bad guys to catch outside!
His fate is already sealed. There is no life left inside him. He is like a candle with no more wick to burn.
Yeah, if you open it, you pretty much are dead.
You planned it all from the very beginning, didn't you? Risking being treated as a traitor to collaborate with them. Sacrificing your own life to open and destroy the Court of Desolation.
Regardless, I made a grave mistake by allowing the smuggling and the research of this place. Let this be the final judgment on myself. I was always so busy with work that I never made time to fulfill Mortada's wishes. Finding this place was his biggest wish. Since I'll be reuniting with him here, I can only hope he won't have anything more to hold against me. I'll leave all those people on the list to you. Sorry for all the trouble I've caused.
There's nothing to be sorry for. We are partners. If you see Mortada, send him my greetings. Goodbye, old friend.
We gotta go. Cutscene.
Dad, why are they so strict with me? I'm always the only one who gets in trouble.
Just leave me alone! Don't worry, I won't damage your precious reputation.
All right, Dad. Let's start over. By the way, I finally found an area of research I wish to pursue. Why can't you show even a little leniency? Why?
Because we are Matra.
Oh, it's actually a little, it's a little depressing, actually.
Huh? The Court of Desolation has...
Just as Taj said, that place had caused too many disasters and tragedies. Being buried in quicksand is its rightful end. To them, as long as there's more to be made, they will disregard the Academia's rules, whether it's the Court of Desolation or anything else. Their only goal is to make massive profits off of dangerous research. Taj may have set them back with the Court of Desolation, but it won't be long before they continue searching for another target. That's an opportunity that I will not let them have.
We'll help too.
Thank you, but you've already done enough. Just leave the rest to me. I will bring them to justice myself. Besides, I promised you that I would sweep away any potential danger. So, that's what I'm going to do. Wait for me at Caravan Rebob 4 days from now.
Wait 4 days later. Oh my, okay. Yeah, Nick goes sad face, Sag in the chat. Eternal Zombie, if you remember some of the fans were RE2 or making themselves, but we were told to stop, and man, we gotta... Yeah! That's what I'm saying! Like, if they could do what they did with RE2 Remake, Dino Crisis could work out too. I don't get it. I don't get why they just won't allow them to do that. They should. I mean, they would make money. Like, I don't know if Capcom just doesn't know that if they went back and remade or remastered certain games and they do a pretty good job of it, that's money for them. Like, what do they have to lose? Like, they've had so many people ask for Dino Crisis remakes. If not, here's my suggestion. Like, port all the old games. Like, being able to play all the old games on the newer systems nowadays, other systems have done it. Why not do it for the newer systems? It's capable of doing it, right? So unless they just don't have the means or just don't want to do it, it's money that you could make. People would buy it in a heartbeat. If you literally told me they made a Capcom game for like 20, 30 bucks with all the classic RE games that you could play, like they made an RE collection, a Silent Hill collection, and a Dino Crisis collection all on one disc, and you can play that for like 30, 40 bucks, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. And I guarantee you, if they all run well and they're all remastered in some way, shape, or form, dude, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that would buy that. But again, I don't know what goes on behind the company. I don't make the rules. I don't do any of it. I would love to do it one day. But Dems to breaks, I suppose. Because a lot of people, at least a lot of fans that have made games, have done some pretty remarkable work for like fan-made games. That's another thing I was going to mention too. A lot of the fan-made games, like the RE games and like some of the other like Silent Hill games that I just don't know about, are PC only. They're not on consoles or anything. So at some point, I will be downloading those to play them. Like the, I think it's called Decontainment, Resident Evil Decontainment. I think there's 3 chapters of it or something like that. I think I had downloaded the first 2, and at some point I'll play that on stream. But there's a lot of games that are only PC exclusive that I've never touched, so you will definitely see that here on Tuesdays. And like I said, I'm a big fan of RPGs like Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy. Um, some people call what's it called? Red Dead Redemption. I want to say is a role playing game. It's just not a Japanese role playing game. There's a difference. So there's JRPGs and RPGs. I'm a big fan of both. So you'll see horror games and RPGs and JRPGs on this channel. If it goes well, maybe on Sundays I'll play like a random game by the viewer's choice, or just like a fighting game, because I like to play fighting games on the side. I feel like most people don't really like to see fighting games that much unless you're just competitive. So I might do that randomly, but I'm just trying to figure it all out right now. But yeah, if you guys have any recommendations, just put them in the chat of like horror games I might not have played them, and I'll make a list to keep in mind about so I can eventually play them on the stream like every Tuesday. And then we'll continue it until we beat it. Oh yeah, by all means, go ahead and make a list for me. Give me a couple games. I'll let you know if I've played them or not. I might go through some games anyway, just for the sake of having a first playthrough, so you guys can see it. Daymare, I actually have that game, but I have not played through it yet. So at some point, I don't know when I'm going to do that, but I will definitely be playing that on stream. Alright, sorry, I'm just checking something, y'all. Okay. I'm also a big fan of those, what do you call it? Those asymmetrical games like DBD, RE Resistance, and Evil Dead. I know Evil Dead's kind of in a weird spot. Not a lot of people like to play it, but I find it to be fun. Okay. There we go.
We meet again. Thank you so much for all your help.
Nabil, what are you doing here?
Convicts from the desert are being escorted through Caravan Ribat, so I'm here to keep an eye on things. This should be the last few days have been quite the ride, but fortunately, I can say with confidence that this case is finally coming to an end. At first, the mercenary groups on the list were putting up quite a fight. They made several desperate attempts to cover up the truth. However, word is that someone crossed the desert and took out their main camp overnight. After that, people on the list started to put pressure on the higher-ups within the academia. Everyone was on edge, and the case came to a standstill.
And? Then what happened?
Well, then we received word that Taj Rudkani had sacrificed himself on the case. The news really stirred up the members of our ranks. The Matra then moved together against the enemy. We cleared out the traitors from within the academia and arrested all the researchers on the list. Some of them managed to get out of the academia, but still failed to escape. The scattered criminals were captured all across Sumeru by the mysterious person who had defeated the mercenary groups. I even heard that someone was about to escape to Fontaine, but was still apprehended just at the border. Having more than 300 prisoners apprehended for interrogation has definitely shaken things up recently.
So that's the end of it. Catching everyone on the list means no more smuggling canned knowledge and no more victims. It was a lot of work, but Paimon thinks we accomplished something big.
That's right. Thanks again for your assistance. As for the mysterious person who hit the mercenary camp, that must be Cyno, right? He's the only one I could think of who could accomplish such a feat. Speaking of which, have you been in touch with Cyno these days? I think I just saw him when I was on watch nearby. He was walking with someone I didn't recognize, and then before I knew it, they were nowhere to be seen. If you happen to see him, please send my regards.
Sure thing, Nabil. You be careful too. Don't let any of those bad guys escape.
Don't worry about me. If anything happens, you can find me at the Academia anytime. Farewell, then.
Let's see, Daymare. Yeah, Daymare I have. I definitely will. I'm going to try it. Everyone has their opinion. I respect who knows, and I might like Daymare. Because I think Daymare was inspired by RA2, right? I think that's what most people have told me. It was inspired by the events of RA2. So, I will definitely give it a try just off that basis.
Bring 300 people to justice must feel pretty exhilarating. But I can assure you, this is certainly not the best solution.
Oh, it's Tainari.
I'm aware. However, I learned something unexpected during interrogation. Apparently, someone had enticed Mortada Radkani into becoming interested in researching the Court of Desolation. Mortada had lived in his father's shadow all his life. Naturally, he wanted to conduct research that would seem groundbreaking and significant.
Oh yeah, we actually don't know who was really behind the scenes of this whole thing, actually.
After Mortada died, the organization tried to use Taj's shame regarding his son to add him to their ranks, toying with others' minds, treating lives like dirt, and doing anything for their own interests. This makes me angry.
Fine, I understand. This is a type of trap I've been working on which uses plants. Here, take some just in case you need them next time.
Eternal Zombie, I think his voice actor is kind of famous. Like, he's done some notable things. I have to go look it up after this. Ib, actually, Larita, I actually played that game. That game was creepy. I actually kind of like it, though. The Bathhouse, I think I've heard of that game. I might give that a try. I think there's another game called, I think it's called Omori. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of it, but I've heard it's worth giving a try. I might play that on stream as well.
If thrown into the mud, the trap will grow rapidly and disperse a pollen that has a paralyzing effect. I don't have much use for the traps these days, but maybe you will and can help me collect more testing data.
Cyno! Tainari! Oh, so Tainari must be who Nabil saw earlier. Are you also here to see Cyno?
That's right. Cyno asked me to collect some medicinal herbs to treat a girl named Cyno. I also dropped by just to check for any injuries. He seems to be fine physically, but he looks a little more lonely than I remember. And Cyno, relax. You don't always have to look so serious, you know? Why don't you play more Genius Invocation TCG? Kale has always been a little wary of you, and your stern expression certainly isn't helping.
How is Kale these days?
She's grown a bit taller, but her grades could use some improvement. She still made many mistakes on her last test, even after I had marked all the important content in the book for her. Her condition seems to be improving lately, so I plan on having her go outside more. It just so happens that I have something she can help me with.
Huh? You mean Kale is leaving a Vidya forest? What happened?
I've asked her to host some ad hoc lectures to teach the dangers of canned knowledge, as well as how to use it safely. Although we've apprehended all the criminals behind the recent smuggling case, there are many people who are still curious and seek after canned knowledge. So I decided to ask her to work on increasing knowledge and awareness on the topic. Please be sure to keep an eye on her.
I will.
If anything else happens, the three of you can find me in the Avidya Forest. Take care.
I've already caught those who were preparing to attack you in secret. Even if some criminals did slip through our fingers, they wouldn't know that you were involved in the case. So you can relax.
But what about you, Cyno?
It's still not time for me to rest yet. Those who died have fulfilled their wishes, but those who are alive must continue pressing forward. I've been thinking about what Taj said in the Court of Desolation these last few days. His words were not empty. People do change, and no belief can completely resist the erosion of time. I just hope my own change will come slowly, so that I can press on a little further. That way, those who see me as their superior, and those who are following in my footsteps, will learn courage from my example. just as I gained courage from my own superiors and my partner. I'll be fine. I'm also enjoying my chat with you right now, you know. There are many things I feel better about once I start to talk about them. Many people want to go to the desert to offer condolences for Taj. But I didn't share details with anyone. I'd prefer to avoid revealing the location of the Court of Desolation.
Yeah.
One day, I'll gather some flowers that grow in arid desert conditions. And then, I was hoping you'd join me in planting them on the remains of the Court of Desolation.
All right, and Cyno's story is done. All right, so I haven't seen an update. There's usually a friend that streams around this time. For those of you from the row, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, Tony. He usually streams, but I haven't seen an update. So I'm trying to debate if I should do like another character story, or if I should just do my daily and weeklies. Yes, Nick Castle. Alejandro Saab voices him. A lot of people went crazy when they found out that he voiced a character in this game. And I have to say, just from this character and his performance so far, he's a great voice actor. I feel like there's something else I've heard him in, but I can't quite place it yet. But if you put in some of the things you've seen him do, I probably will recognize it. I think he's from a couple animes. And I think he's done another video game that I can't remember right now. But his voice is great. Also, for those of you who don't know about my aspirations, I also would love to be a voice actor one day, particularly for the Resident Evil games or just any video game in general. I've been told that I have a pretty relaxing voice whenever people hear me speak. So at some point, when I have a lot more time and a bit more money on my hands, I would love to go like full on into it. So, yeah. Hope you guys will keep your lookout on me. I don't think I'll get famous overnight, but I'll be doing some things. I also let everybody know that eventually I will be doing an audiobook reading of the S.D. Perry Resident Evil novels, for those that are familiar with them. When I get a little more time on my hands this winter, like at some point, I'll make them separately and upload them and just let you all know as that comes out. So, speaking of an update, I think he said he's streaming in 30 minutes. So, I think that's enough time for me to do my dailies on this game. So essentially how it works is, if anyone has never played an MMO before, every MMO has a thing called dailies where you do them to accumulate some type of currency. You use that currency to get things in the game. And then weeklies are things you do every week, once a week, to get more of a currency for something. Once a week, you have to fight 3 of the major bosses and relive those memories, which you're about to see. I feel bad because you're about to see some bosses you guys weren't here for story-wise, but if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll answer them for you. Yeah, actually, fun fact, guys, my voice acting endeavors are on YouTube on some parts of it. For those of you that have played Fallout New Vegas, I am the voice in a couple mods. I don't know if any of you guys have bothered to go back and check mods for that game, but I've done, I think, 3 or 4 characters and a couple commercials. At some point, I'll post them or show them to you. I think they're on my YouTube page, actually. Yeah, if you go to my YouTube page, I'll put it in the link. You guys can go there and take a look at it. I've done a prologue reading of Aragon just to kind of test out my voice and see if it sounds good. But I think my mic quality has changed since then, so I might redo that again. But yeah, if you want to take a look at my voice acting endeavors, I have a few videos that I posted on my YouTube, so you guys are more than welcome to check them out. Hopefully you like them. I'm trying to improve every day in some way, shape, or form. Other than that, yeah. So, weeklies, my bad. You do those each week to get a certain currency to build up your battle pass. This game has a battle pass. When you do your stuff, you get rewards every time you do it. I'll show it to you real quick. So as you do it, you level up, and these are all things you use in the game to get like weapons, materials, and other sorts of things. These allow you to grind. These are money. These are experience books to level up your characters, and these are called fates. The blue one is what we call standard. It's what you essentially use to pull on anything in the game. The purple ones are used specifically for pulling for a character or pulling for a weapon you want. There's a chance you'll get it. If you don't, the next time you go around again, you'll get it. But of course, there's a thing to that, but I'll get into that later. But just for the basics, you do your weekly stuff. There's a listing of it here. Weeklies, dailies, and then the battle pass that you want to do each one. When you do these, it levels up. Level 50 is the max. And once you get it to level 50, you'll get everything on this list. If you buy the battle pass, it's $10. Everything underneath will unlock. Every time this battle pass comes out, it lasts for, I think, 36 days. So if your resources are good, you don't need to buy this. But if you really need resources, this thing is amazing, and it's probably the only thing I would say is worth spending your money on. Saving up resources and then saving up for a character that you want to get in the future. That's what I would do that for. So I have a long way to go, but there's 24 days left, so I have plenty of time. So I will show you some of the bosses that have been in the game that you guys have missed out on. Some of the bosses are pretty cool. Alright, so let's go here. The cool thing about bosses is that if you fought them before, you can actually co-op with friends. So if you have a friend that is like on the northwest or north whatever server, you guys can work together and fight bosses together in case you struggle. I think my characters are strong enough, but even then, it's fun to fight bosses with your friends or with random people. So, alright. Let's find some people to fight this boss with. We have some lively ones in the chat. The emotes in this game are adorable too.
Good deeds.
Hey, do you know what?
And bad.
Neither
In the
do
end,
I.
all will be placed
Already
upon the
forgot it.
scales.
One, two.
I want this character. She's so cool. For those of you that have played League of Legends, if you know League of Legends, she's voiced by Laura Post, who also voices Ahri,
Where
if you've
I'm
played
from,
that game.
If we didn't keep moving, we'd freeze to death. Literally.
One, two, three, four. Two, three, four.
And yes, this character is dead. That's why she sounds like that.
No time to lose.
do it.
Just gonna transform.
No time to lose.
Oh. Yeah, she's about to transform.
This body is eternal.
Time to go.
Purge all obstacles. In spirit.
Doing pretty good damage to her.
Witness the final calamity.
Bring it on.
Eternity is in my hands.
The rings of jumping, I like this part. I think we got it, yep. Nice.
Emptiness awaits.
So every time you defeat a boss each week, you get little rewards. These are called artifacts. These are how you make your character stronger. It's like getting armor. The RNG is sometimes nice, and sometimes it isn't. So sometimes you have to end up grinding a lot, but that's kind of the nature of the game. Most like RPGs, you pretty much grind to get the levels you want, and then the items you need, and hope that RNG is on your side. That's kind of where the replay comes in, and of course the new characters and story that comes out. Alright, so we have to defeat 3 bosses, so that was the first one. On to the next one. Again, if you guys need any lore about these bosses, let me know. I'll answer them. But I like to do these bosses with people. I probably could fight them alone. This was a cool boss, I remember. Yep, I'll just keep using the same character. If you can't tell, he's one of my favorite characters to use. I think by the time I'm done with all this, I'll probably, I'll probably do. Oop.
You're trembling. Is it the cold or just cowardice?
Oh, she teleported.
The Tsaritsa's benevolence has no place for transgressors.
No time to lose.
You have to use the butterflies to break the chrysalis. She's transforming. Oh.
No time to lose.
One more should do the trick. Alright, now for second phase. One of my favorite themes in the game.
No time to lose.
Embrace your searing reckoning. Embrace your searing reckoning.
No time to lose.
We're getting a new boss with the next update. I can't wait for it. Well.
Brace yourself. This is gonna hurt.
I never asked
Nice.
for redemption. Never.
Alright, that's boss number 2. These little materials they drop is how you level up your characters in the future. So if there's a certain character that you want, you have to look and see what they need and fight that boss once a week and they'll drop something for you. Okay, so there's one more boss. I'm trying to figure out which one I need. I think it's that toad thing. Oh yeah, and at one point, this character right here, he was a boss. But he actually turned out to be a good guy. But we had to fight him in the past, before he actually was playable. Alright. No, I think it's somewhere over here. Yeah. Alright. So let's see. He has elemental resistance to... Yeah, that's the one thing about this game that throws people off. It's not your standard way of getting EXP. Killing enemies like you normally would in any game would get you EXP normally, right? But in this game it's different. They drop books. Those books are how you get more experience. So yeah, it's not your typical RPG. It's a little different how this one works. Let's see.
Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off.
This boss, even though it came out a long time ago, can still be troublesome. He has the ability to use all the elements.
You dare overstep your mortal authority?
He used to work with the gods, but unfortunately he got corrupted. He couldn't remember who people were, so they had to seal him away, so he wouldn't kill anyone.
There is no atonement for 1,000-year pain!
Someone went and unlocked the seal, and then we had to fight him. So essentially we're like replaying a memory of fighting him.
Today, you this your reckoning?
Also, he has a very cool boss battle theme. One of my favorites in the game too. Like I said, this game has really awesome music. Everyone's doing really good against him this time around. Someone usually dies.
The enraged earth will not absolve you! You stand upon your tomb, though you know it not.
Okay.
Come, experience an eon of suffering.
Oh no. Oh, there's nowhere to run.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Things are about to get dicey.
We beat him though, so. Hey. That was a lot quicker than I thought it was gonna go. Alright. So those are my 3 bosses for the week, so that weekly is done. Alright, thank you so much for your help. Trying to think how much time we got. 10 minutes left. Huh. I think it's safe to say, I guess maybe we'll call it here then, since he's about to stream soon. We streamed for about 2.5 hours, which is pretty good. Yay. So 25 more levels to go until I get everything. Okay, cool. Alright, you guys. I think it's safe to call it here. He's about to stream soon, so we're going to go in there and probably support him. He's on YouTube, so I can't really raid him from here. So let me find somebody to raid that's still streaming. And then for those of you who are of the Rose Squad, I will more than likely see you when Tony streams. Let me see who's still on Twitch so I can raid them. Baz is streaming. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and host Baz since she's still streaming. I think she's streaming up until he's streaming as well. So I'll go ahead and send you guys over to her. And then if I don't see you in the Resident Evil stream, I will see you guys on Tuesday for another horror game. I'm debating if it's going to be RE2 Remake or one of the games you guys mentioned on stream today. But I do know we're going to play RE Village because the DLC comes out this month, so I will definitely be playing that before the DLC comes out. So let me go ahead and send you guys over to them. And I thank you all so much. Exactly, we'll call it a raid when we get to Tony's, exactly. So for now, I'll go ahead and send you guys over to Baz, and then we'll all just go and see Tony. Okay, I think I got it right? Alright. Perfect. Okay, so anyone that's subscribed, just spam your emotes and just show some love. And again, thank you all so much for coming here. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. And I will see you guys on Tuesday for more streams. Take care. I'll keep you posted.